Hi and welcome to Old Bird New Tricks. I'm Amanda Pennick and tonight we are looking at some of the toy ideas that I like to make. If you go to my group albums, you'll see a few pictures of the finished toys and hopefully you pick up some new ideas. The toys we're making tonight look a little more complicated than they are, but the techniques are really simple and the materials are not that expensive, so that is always a plus. So I'm going to get right into it. If you have any questions or comments, of course, ask. This is Darwin. It's past his bedtime, so he's going to be a little flighty, but we'll see how he goes. So this one here is a preening toy that I make. It's a little bit different than the poofs that some people make. It is made with coffee filters, birdie bagel, and paper rope. And the tools that you need, some people would use a hole punch, but I actually just use needle nose pliers. So the first step, you're going to cut yourself a nice generous piece of the paper rope. And you're going to tie it around your birdie bagel. And this is going to be how you attach the toy to the cage when it's finished. So that's why I said a nice generous piece, because if you cut these ends too short, then you're not going to have enough room to tie it to the cage when it's done. So that's what we have so far. All right. A bit of warning with the birdie bagels. They come in all sizes and you can do this with large or small ones, but they can be dangerous if you're using the wrong size of bagel. Because a bird can't chew through this quickly, you want to make sure that you're using a bagel that is either so small that the bird can't stick their head in it, or so large that they can go all the way through it. If they can stick their head and potentially their shoulders in it, then there's a chance that the bird will get stuck in the birdie bagel. And I said, they do come in all sorts of sizes, so if you're using veggies, you either want to use the super small ones or something a little bit bigger than this one, just to make sure that they're not going to get stuck. All right, so the next step is you're going to take another piece of string. Hi, Darwin. And you're, oh, he's trying to go after my keyboard. Come here. You can take another piece of string and you're going to tie it onto the bagel like so. And you're going to have two longer ends like that. The next step is you're going to take your coffee filters, just one, and you're going to fold it in half. And fold it in half again, so you've got a little triangle. And some people would take their hole punch and make a nice little hole, but I just take my needle nose pliers and stab them through. And then you're going to slide, you're going to slide the paper. Sorry, he thinks I have food in my mouth. Come here. There you go. Go to your stand. So you're going to slide the paper onto the rope like that, and we're going to put 3 of these filters onto this rope. So there's 2. And 3. Okay, so you've got your 3 on the one side, nothing on the other rope yet. What are you doing, Darwin? Sorry, they slipped off. What are you doing? You're blocking everyone's view. All right, so you got 3 on the one side, nothing on this other side yet. You're going to make a knot right there as close as you can to the filters to hang them on like so. Okay, so now we're going to do the exact same to the other side. We're going to put 3 filters on this side. Don't worry, we're not going to make the whole toy. Okay. We got a good peekaboo. So we've got 1, 2, 3 filters with the holes, and we're going to put them on the other side of the rope. 1, 2, Darwin already wants to play with this toy. 3. Okay, and just like before, we're going to tie a knot right up as close as we can to the filters. Did you give us a list ahead of time to make these with you? No, I didn't, Cass. I wasn't that smart. Don't worry, I'm not going to make the whole thing. Next time I do a toy video, that's probably a good idea. Yes, Victoria. Darwin is quite the character. I have him out because some of my other birds are toy phobic, and he definitely is not. Alright, so this is what we have so far. You're going to do that 4 more times, and you're going to end up with a poof that looks like this. So this is really great for birds that like to preen. If you don't want to make a rope toy, or if you don't like putting their own feathers bundled together as preening toys, it gives them something to chew. If your bird likes different textures, there's bamboo filters that you can use. There's pictures of that, I believe, on the page. And you can also use craft paper, or like paper bag type paper. So that is my preening toy. Any questions on that one? That one was pretty easy. The next one I'm going to show you is one of my favorite techniques. I make a ton of toys this way. The trick, of course, to having a good looking toy is having matching colors. I didn't post a video on how to dye the toys, but there is one in the video section of the Old Bird group. So this one's one that I took out of Darwin's cage, so it's a little chewed on. So that's the after product. This is another example of the toy I'm going to show you finished. So we start off with one of these wicker cores. Okay. I got mine from Things for Wings. Where's the end of my rope? This is my bundle of paper rope here. I can't find the end of it. Can you help, Darwin? Where's the end of the paper rope? There it is. Thank you. So again, cut yourself a nice generous piece of paper rope. I just realized my scissors have gone walking. Just 1 second. Alright, so piece of paper rope, and I'm going to use my needle nose pliers to separate some of these wicker parts a little bit more, just to make it easier to put my rope through them. If you need some help, you can always use the use the needle nose pliers to pull the rope through. So you've got this, and you're going to tie it up at the top here. Yes, Darwin is making sure I do everything right. He's already pre-chewed some of the parts. He was thoroughly inspecting everything tonight. Look at him watching there. Alright, so that is where you're going to hang your toy from. Don't forget to put that on. I have gone through making a toy only to realize at the end that I forgot to put how to hang it. Alright, next time I'm going to leave myself a very noticeable end. Alright. So again, you're going to take your paper rope, and you're going to use your needle nose pliers, and you're going to make the gaps between these wicker pieces just a bit bigger so that you can stick your rope all the way through one side and to the other. Go over there, Darwin. You're a pain. You're a pain in the butt. Yes, you are. There we go, stop. So you've got something that looks like that. Again, one of the tricks to making a really cool looking toy is just having matching colors. So I'm going to use yellow and pink for this toy. Yellow block, pink vine ball. If there aren't holes already big enough in the vine ball, again, use your needle nose pliers just to force a hole to exist. And tie your knot. If you're trimming your ends, don't throw those out. I'll show you what to do with them after. You can make really easy little foot toys. He wants your glasses. Yeah, he's trying to reach into my mouth actually. Very recently, Darwin has discovered inside of my mouth, and he keeps trying to stick his head in there, which I don't want because human saliva is bad for birds, but he's pretty persistent. All right, so that's what that step looks like, and we're just going to finish off this first row and put another one across that way to give you an idea. I'm not going to do the whole toy because it takes me about 20 minutes to finish one, and you guys don't want to sit for 20 minutes and watch me making that toy. Hi, Dawn. Ah, telemarketer's calling. Last time my phone rang with the long distance call, it was somebody wanting to clean my eaves. Yeah, you tell them to go away, Darwin. You tell them. We don't want any. Most of you who know me know that I really only answer my cell phone because our house number is never anybody who we want to talk to. So hopefully they stop calling soon. Come on, this one's being tricky. What are you doing? You leave my glasses alone now too. Exciting video so far. Making toys and Darwin trying to eat my lips. Hmm? Normally it's not this difficult. What are we doing wrong, Darwin? Ring, ring, ring. I know. I'm tempted to get up and answer it just so it'll stop ringing. There we go. Sorry about that. The fun of live video. Alright, so we've got another one stuck through. Okay, come here. And to make it look pretty, I'm going with pink blocks and yellow wicker balls this time. So not tricky at all. So you can make some pretty cool looking toys. I'll show you the finished ones again when I'm done this. You can use a whole bunch of things. I've used muffin wrappers. Balsa blocks really work well. Natural toy parts. It doesn't have to be all pretty and color-coded, and if I'm making them for my own birds, I often don't even bother coloring them, but I give a lot of toys as gifts, so then I try to make them a little nicer looking. Stop! Alright, so that's what the top of that one looks like, and you're going to do it all the way down. You can get about 4 rows usually, depends on how big a block you're using, and again, this one was pine and balsa. Darwin has already worked on this one. I did the attachment a little bit differently. I actually tied a little plastic ring to the top because Darwin likes to chew the paper rope that's holding his toys in his cage. So adding the plastic ring just gives it a little more durability. And this was my Halloween themed one. You'll see that instead of cutting the edges, I unraveled the paper. Yes, you get that. Darwin showing you how awesome it is. So you can unravel the paper and that gives them another texture to chew on. These toys are great if your bird doesn't really like a hard chew because you can make them all with vine parts or paper parts. It doesn't have to be wood. Or if your bird really likes heavy chewing, then you can make it with heavy wood. Okay, the next trick I'm going to show you, I learned from Monique, who is the lady I adopted Mosby and Moxie from. These are paper straws. I get mine at Bulk Barn. This is a Halloween colored one. And this is what we're going to turn it into, this little coil spring. And all you need is a regular pencil sharpener. And when you sharpen it, it just naturally is going to turn into Let's get a little bit more here so you can see what we're doing. Turn into a paper coil. And you can then use that to tie onto your toys. So it goes pretty quickly. Yeah, I love this. I love this technique. It works with plastic straws too. I have, thanks Cass, I have a lot of budgie toys that I've made with wiffle balls. And I've tied a bunch of these curly straws to them, so I'm not going to sharpen the whole thing, but you can really easily get these cool little springy. This is a paper straw, but again, you can use a regular like plastic soda straw. If they have the extendable part, like the bendy straws, that part won't sharpen, so you'll only be able to go so far. And when you get to the end of where you want to sharpen, with paper ones, it's really easy. Just pull out, and there's a little bendy part. So the last toy I kind of have an idea for today. If you've seen my toys, you've seen lots like this one. Again, this one is pre-chewed. This part is pretty emptied of toy parts, thanks to this guy. But it's on a cork base. You don't have to use a cork base. Today I have them. I have lots of them. But today I'm going to use a pine base to show you. This is a piece of pine from a 2x4 that one of the awesome volunteers at Parrot Partner cut down for us and drilled into bases. So this is something he easily made at home. If you have basic knowledge of power tools, really easy base to make. So the hole at the top is obviously going to be for the paper string that you would put through there to hang it. So I'm not going to do that. You guys have seen me hang the toys. I'm sure you can figure out that part. You leave my ears alone. You leave my ears alone. Yes. All right. So there's two different ways that you can put crinkle paper onto your toys. The first way is cut two pieces and tie them together. You want to make sure you leave yourself enough ends that you'll be able to tie them up a couple times and put wooden blocks on them. Are you guys liking for Darwin trying to eat my face? Is that why that light came up? Eh? Yeah. Alright, so then you're going to take one of the ends. I usually take the shortest one, and you're going to stick it through the base and tie a knot at the back, leaving 3 strings on the front. What are you doing? What are you doing, stinker? Alright, so now you have your 3 strings in the front and your knot at the back. See, I only brought Darwin on because I knew this was going to be a dull video, and who doesn't love a pesky ring neck? So we're going to grab our crinkle paper, and you're going to use 2 of the strings to tie it to the base, and I'll try to get a good footage of that once it's on. So I've literally just taken 2 and tied a knot, just a single knot, over the crinkle paper to hold it into place. And then all you do is you slip your wooden blocks onto these strings, your beads, your whatever, and you'll end up with a project that looks like this. Oh, you want that? Yeah, see, Darwin approves of this toy. It actually just came out of his cage, so. The other way you can attach crinkle paper to one of these blocks is even easier and a little sneaky. So you're going to cut yourself a nice long piece, and you're going to knot it in the middle. When me pixel, yeah. Stop. Stop. Okay, so we've got the knot in the middle. Then you're going to take the 2 ends and stick them through the opening in the pine, like that. And if you use a large enough gauge of rope, the knot is going to hold the paper through the pine block. And again, you'll take your crinkle paper and tie over it like so. And there you've got your crinkle paper, and you could just put your blocks or beads or whatever you want on these strings and tie your knots at the end. And when you fill that up, you'd have a pretty cool looking toy. Now, as you're building, you're going to get these ends, and if you want a decent looking toy, you know, you're going to trim them. Don't throw those away, because you can thread them through wooden beads and then unroll the ends, and it gives you a pretty easy foot toy. Now he's not going to want to play with it. Pretty easy foot toy to put in their toy box. Do you want that? No. What toy do you want? You want this one? Yeah. There we go. So that is the 3 different toys that I make the most. The first one that we saw, for those of you logging in late, was this coffee filter toy that's made with a birdie bagel, paper rope, and coffee filters. This one's great. We have it in a couple birds at Parrot Partner. If you have a bird that is over preening, the hope is that they will enjoy preening this instead of themselves. The second toy that we did ends up looking like this one, which is actually a quite popular one, and it's made on a wicker base. I know, Darwin's totally stealing the show. And of course we showed you how to make these cool curly cues just by sharpening regular straws. This is one of my favorite tricks to do. You can either tie them to toys, or birds really like them just as fun foot toys, and cats really like them as little springy foot toys too. Come here. See? Darwin approves. Yeah. So do you have any questions, comments, any ideas for future videos? Where it's not a very long video, so I'm willing to stay on longer if people have things to talk about. Great toys. Thanks, Jill. Yeah, Victoria, who is known to the Ottawa people here, left a whole bunch of toy parts here that we are supposed to be making toys, and I think your name is on the list for the Santa, so keep an eye out. You might be getting some of these. I just have to figure out how I can get her over here. So none of the toys that I made today are pretty much for small to medium birds. I have put them in cockatoos' cages, but there are some cockatoos that are way too destructive. Many cockatoos are way too destructive for those toys. But I've put them in with budgies all the way up to Amazons, grays, cockatoos. You really, as always, need to consider the bird that the toys are being made for, and make sure that the materials you're using are appropriate size and shape for the bird. Darwin, a pencil sharpener is not a good toy. If you wanted to make a toy for a macaw, you could still use these techniques. You're just going to use, thanks Cass, you're just going to use heavier paper and larger bases and larger pine blocks. So it is possible to do these exact same techniques, but you but you'd want to make sure you're using much heavier wood than what I did today. Thanks, Jill. Aw, look at the love. Do you guys have any questions? If you've just found our page, look back in the old videos. There's one on the basics of hormones in birds. There was a really good one on introducing a new flock member. That's one of my personal favorites. We talked about introducing people and new birds to your flock. And another really good one was on vet care, and they're all listed below on this page. So make sure you check them out, and if you like them, spread them around. All right, any other questions? You guys just want to look at Darwin for a few more minutes before he goes? Okay. Darwin has his vet visit on Halloween, so we've been working on scale training and getting him used to the towel again. Cassandra knows how much Darwin dislikes the towel, so that will be my challenge this week. Yes. Oh, thanks. I'm just gonna hang off my glasses. Yeah. All right, so that's everything tonight. If you have any suggestions for future videos, questions for me on training or husbandry, make sure you message me. The new page has a nice big message button at the top if you're using an iPhone or one of those other phones. Pretty easy to find. All right. Darwin just dislikes you. Yeah, that's because you torture him, Cassandra. Cassandra is the bird groomer that I go to, so most of my birds are a little less friendly with her. Say goodnight, Darwin. No talking? Hmm? All right, I'm gonna log off. Thanks for all the love, and pretty easy video tonight with the toys, but I've had lots of questions about how to make them, so there's your answer. That is how I make my 3 most popular toys. All right, bye.